I had heard absolutely nothing about the AAA programme before I was actually invited to attend for a scan. There are other things that I've been, as a male, requested to go to and haven't gone to. But I think the thing that appealed here was that really there was nothing down to me to do except attend, and it was up to someone else then to carry out the procedure and work it through. But initially quite nervous as to what could be found. But it was explained to me then before the scan itself, did I understand what was happening and the reason for taking the scan. And to be fair, that had been made very clear in the information that had come through in the post, but also then the further information that I received then on the day. And I also got information to prepare me just in case here was something we need to do with you fairly quickly, or we're okay, you're all clear, and working the psychology of that and working things through. So a lot of information and very helpful, and certainly the right procedure was put in place to make sure that I was aware of what was happening. I was asked to lie down on a bed, and then some scanning was done of my stomach along with a gel, and I had 2 technicians present. And folks who were used to handling the scan, and I think it was when one said to the other one, would you like to have a look at this? I then, I think, began to realise that there was something there that needed attending to, so we then had a conversation then about what was to happen next from that point of view after the results of the scan. So I was informed that a contact would be made through the staff within the programme to attend hospital, to have a CT scan done, and also then to move things to the next stage. And I was also then given several items of information to take with me. So I've got to say, a quiet car on the way home from Arts Hospital to here. It was quite a shock to the system, but before I then probably was able to be concerned much further, we got home and there were a couple of telephone calls then from members of the staff, and I've got to say the words were reassuring, and a process started to go into place then to build up the confidence to deal with things. We've been aware of friends of ours who unfortunately have passed away due to something similar. So to some degree a lot of that was moving through my head and the different things happening. But again, once telephone conversation started, once we gained some more information, then we began to come to terms with things and realise that something could be done about it and would be done about it. But certainly quite nervous and quite uptight about the thing. And no symptoms whatsoever. Certainly I've been through things before, like kidney stones, and certainly you will have symptoms at that. There was absolutely nothing. In fact, 2 days before the scan, I was helping my son move home, and that meant lifting wardrobes upstairs and doing different things, which 3 days later you were told it wouldn't be a good idea to lift heavy items. So totally unaware of the situation, and was blissfully going on, unaware of what was actually there. And it wasn't until we had the scan completed and some comment made that you became quite conscious of what needed to be done and how you had to handle it. But no symptoms whatsoever. So the operation was on Friday, and I was actually discharged on the Sunday, and I headed home around about 4 o'clock. So quite a quick recovery. Taken probably 6 weeks to get back to driving the car again, which would have been with doctor's permission, and also making sure that any stitches had healed and things of that nature. And I've also got to say that's where my GP was extremely helpful and actually very attentive in what I'd been through. The follow-up now is an annual check-up with a CT scan, which they handle up at Dundonald Hospital, which is quite convenient for us here. So that'll be the second one I've been through. Took about 6 to 8 weeks for a letter to come through the first time to say all's clear, we'll see you next year. And I certainly haven't had any issues or any symptoms or any problems, and I'm anticipating that after the scan, which was a few weeks ago, that we'll get the same result coming through as well. But certainly it's nice to know that it will be monitored on a regular basis, and it just brings that element of peace of mind is the way to look at it. But I would strongly recommend anyone, any male, to go along and get the scanning completed. The way to look at it is simply this: it could save your life, because you wouldn't have a clue what's there or what size the aneurysm is or whether you have an aneurysm at all. So having the scan completed and at least someone monitoring the situation for you on a regular basis seems a very sensible thing to do. I'm, a recipient of something that, being totally unaware of the situation, I may not be here today. Whereas by having the scanning completed and the operation carried out, I'm still here today. So it's important to live and look after yourself. My message to anyone who receives the invitation is go for the scan. It's not painful, it's not intrusive, and it could very well save your life. And that to me is an absolutely vital item, because you will know nothing about this unless you do something about it.